Hi, I'm Kathy from the Delafield Quilt Company, and today I've got this double Irish chain quilt to share with you. This is a real easy one to make, so I hope you enjoy the video. The fabric that I'm using from this quilt is from Art Gallery Fabric. It's part of their Color Master line. I'm going to use some fat quarters. I'm going to give you the yardage for the quilt, but I want it more of a scrappy look, so I'm using these beautiful Winter Wheat Edition fat quarter bundle and the Emerald Stone Edition from Art Gallery Fabrics. I'm going to need to also supplement with some yardage, but for me wanting the scrappy look, I think that's going to work great. So this double Irish chain quilt measures 63 inches by 81 inches, and the fabric that you need for the green fabric, so the main fabric, 1 7/8 yards, and then for the background, the white fabric, 3 5/8 yards. You need about 3/4 of a yard for the binding and about 5 yards for the backing. So if you're using the fat quarters like I am, you're going to need to cut from the white fabrics. You're going to need a total of 47 white strips that are 2 1/4 inch wide, and that's going to be from the longest side of the fat quarter, so the 21 inch side. You're also going to need to cut 14 5 7/8 inch strips from the white fabric, and then also 31 5 7/8 inch squares from the white fabric. And then from the green fabric, you're going to cut 57 2 1/4 inch strips. Again, those are from fat quarters. If you're using the yardage, you probably need about half of that since your fabric is twice as long as mine. Okay, I'm just going to start by getting a clean edge on the white. So I'm going to show you first how to make what essentially looks like the checkerboard block by cutting my 2 1/4 inch strips. I could have made this quilt using jelly roll strips, but I didn't have jelly roll strips in the colors that I wanted. Plus I wanted the blocks just to look a little bit smaller. If you're using jelly roll strips, it would just probably be more of like a 10-inch block. The block I'm making is more of a 9-inch block. So 2 1/4 inch on the going the longest way of the fat quarter, and I just layered 3 of them here. And I'm just going to cut a bunch of strips. So I have most of my pieces cut, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make the blocks. Essentially, this quilt is made up of 2 different blocks. One is very similar to a checkerboard block, and the other one is a larger center block with 4 quarter pieces. I'm going to show you the checkerboard one first. So to do this as quick as we can, we're going to sew strips together in sets. And the first set is going to have 3 white strips and 2 green strips. So this is the first set. And then the second set is going to be the opposite. It's going to have 3 green strips and 2 white strips. And there's the second set. So I'm going to sew these 2 sets together, and then I'm going to show you what we do next. So I now have my strips sewn together, and just keep in mind when you're sewing your strips, you are going to need more of the 3 whites and 2 greens as you go through this project. And then I went ahead and I pressed the seams open on both of these. And now let me show you how I'm going to cut them. To cut these, it's pretty easy. We want to cut these in 2 1/4 inch strips. So I'm first just going to start with the clean edge. And then I'm just going to cut it as many 2 1/4 inch strips as I can get from this. So you should get about 9 total sections. And then I'm going to repeat that with the other set. Okay, now we're going to lay out the checkerboard pattern. And it starts first with your 3 whites and 2 greens, and then your 3 greens and 2 whites. And then it goes again with the 3 whites, 2 greens, and then 3 greens, 2 whites, and then finally 3 whites and 2 greens. So you should have a total of 5 rows here. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew these together, making sure that I match up the seams for these. And I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, now I've got this block all sewn together, and let's move on to the second one. For our second block, we're going to first just prepare some strips. We're going to need our 5 7/8 inch strips. And we're going to take half, for the whole quilt, we're going to take half of them, and we're going to put a green strip on each side. And then we're just going to sew that together using a 1/4 inch seam. And then our other half of these, we're going to cut those down without a green strip. And we're going to cut those so that they are 2 1/4 inch sections. So I'm just going to stack a few on there. I'm going to cut 2 1/4 inch. And then for each of these blocks, we need 2 of these rectangles. These are 5 7/8 by 2 1/4 inch wide. And then I've already got that other section sewn. Again, this was just 2 greens and then that 5 7/8 inch strip. Now we're going to cut this. We're going to first give ourselves a clean edge. And we're going to cut all these pieces so that they're 2 1/4 inch wide, just like the other ones. And just like with the other sections, we should get about 9 of these pieces out of there. And then to make this block, I'm going to bring in a 5 7/8 inch square. Bring back those 2 pieces that I cut earlier. And I'm going to sew these 2 pieces to the square. And then I'm going to sew these ones with the green corners to that section. And there I've got it all sewn together. So those are essentially the 2 blocks that make up this double Irish chain quilt. Okay, so when you're putting the whole quilt together, you're going to essentially need 32 of these checkerboard ones and 31 of these ones with a big white square in it. And to lay it out, you're just going to start with the checkerboard one, then you're going to go with your big white square. And for the first row, you're going to have 4 of the checkerboards and 3 of the white ones, and then the opposite for the second row. So in total, you're going to have 9 rows. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and visit us at DelafieldQuiltCo.com. Have a great day.